Hi guys, welcome back. This is Joe here again with Pt5 Fitness. This is part 5 of our mini series focusing on flexibility as we start to come out of lockdown and get back into higher volume training to help us minimize that injury risk or breaking down. For this last part, you're going to need, if you've got a plate, I'm using a 15 kilo plate here, a 10 kilo plate will be fine, or something around that thickness, that's about 3 or 4 inches, where you're going to use this. We're not using it to lift weights, we're using it to step on, okay, or to step off, to create a deficit in a couple of lunges. So if you don't have a plate, don't panic. A thick book or some sort of a little small box or something you can stand on is going to be fine, okay? You're also going to need something light. I'm just going to use my phone, something really light, okay, but not too big. It's going to be on the floor. You're going to be picking it up throughout a couple of movements. So 2 things that you need for this session. Plate, 10 or 15 kilo, be ideal. If not, something of similar thickness, a little smaller box, or a couple of books stacked up would probably be okay. All right, so if you need to pause the video and get those 2 things now, pause it. Come back to me, then we'll get started. All right, so this last session is quite dynamic. We're going to be moving throughout it. With the first 4 that we've done, a lot of static stuff on the floor. These are a couple of different lunge variations that I throw into my warm-ups, okay, to allow me to get further range. But again, they can just be done on their own. I've done these types of movements as part of recovery sessions. If I'm doing like an extended warm-up or something, I'll pop these in. I'm going to feel a lot better after them, increasing blood flow, increasing my range of motion in the lunge, which is going to carry through into everything that you do, be it a squat or deadlift or just outrunning. You're going to move better if you improve the quality of these movements. Okay, so get started. If you've got your plate or whatever you're standing on, we're going to start off with a curtsy lunge from this. So again, the plate just adds a deficit. It makes us move a bit more, so in order to get a better stretch. If you can't touch your knee off the floor though with this, you need to just get rid of the plate and go without. So I'm adding in the plate because normally I have no problem touching the ground. If you generally can't touch the ground, then you don't even need the plate here. We'll just work with that for the time being. So we're going to start off with 10 reps each side. I'm not going to alternate because I want to gradually feel the stretch getting better. I'm going to do all 10 reps one side before I swap. Okay, so stand on the plate, you're stepping back and across, really controlled. You can see I'm moving quite slowly here, gently touching that knee off the floor. That's 3. So you can see how slowly I'm stepping back and down with control. My hands are going up for balance and to stop myself from turning. I'm just going to pause here and show you all on the back of this hip. This glute is getting a nice stretch when I'm down in that position. This one's almost going to be a little mini workout. Okay, this session's might get a little bit tough. Standing up nice and strong. Back onto the plate. Taking your time, finishing off those 10. Again, see how controlled I'm touching the floor. All right, so I'm going on the opposite side. Just starting off really gently to find the range, to make sure I'm comfortable with it before I start getting through the reps. And just keeping that breathing nice and relaxed throughout. Then again, it's going to create better blood flow if you're maintaining nice steady breathing. And relax then for a second. Okay, we're just going to do a regular lunge now, stepping back. So straight back but you're going to try and exaggerate how far you're getting. Okay, so if I'm doing a workout, I'm doing a lunge on the spot, that's probably as far back as I'm stepping. But if I'm looking to open up everything around here now, groins and hamstrings, hip flexors, and I'm going to use a lunge for that purpose, I'm going to take as big a step as I can. And now, hamstring and groin, hip flexors getting nicely stretched. So again, with the plate, it adds that deficit. You mightn't go back any further, but you're going to get down a little bit lower and get a better stretch. So again, we're going to do 10 each side. We're not going to alternate, just so we can be really aware of how far we're getting and how good of a stretch we're getting. We're going to do all 10 one side before we swap. So again, really controlled here now so that you're not wobbly at all. As big a step back as you can and pause when you touch the floor, coming up nice and strong. Again, if you can't get near the ground, you don't even need the plate. Go back to the floor. Okay, go back to the floor if you're nowhere near the ground here with your knee. You don't need the deficit at all. So you can see I'm stepping back with loads of control. Front foot is working really hard. Front quad and glute are working really hard to help me, to stop me from wobbling around. And pausing in the bottom, feeling that stretch now up that quad and that hip flexor. And we're taking our time finishing our 10 reps. You shouldn't be leaning on this leg at all for balance, okay? Relying on all the muscles to do the work themselves without any assistance. It's roughly my 10. I'm going to go the opposite side now. I'm just taking my time, finding the range with those first few reps, and then gradually getting comfortable with it and trying to get back further. And the further back I can get, as long as it's nice and controlled, better the stretch now. I'm going to feel up here on this hip flexor. Really good quality movements. This isn't a workout. You shouldn't be just hammering them out mindlessly. I'm stepping back with as much stability as I can and staying nice and square as I step back up. And again, all the plate is doing here is creating that deficit. I'm getting a better stretch here than I would be if my front foot was on the ground. Alright, that's roughly a 10 done there. Okay, so we're going to be doing a sumo lunge now, or a big side lunge. Bring your plate back a little bit. So I'm going to be going out at an angle here now. There's a good few things to look out for on this. Again, we're going 10 reps. As I step out, I'm going to point my toe nicely away. Okay, I'm not going to leave it facing forward. That's going to create bad traction, okay, of the knee over the toe. So I want the knee pointing out over the toe as I sink down into these. So as I step, I'm going to show my toes pointing away at a nice angle. I'm going to send my knee right out over. So again, it's going to be 10. Okay, we're going to go all one side before we swap out. So again, first two are really cautious, just to make sure I'm happy with the movement and the position. Standing back up nice and strong, controlled. Allow myself to sink right down into this and keeping my chest up. So I'm not going to round over. I'm going to keep my chest up at all times. And now predominantly inside of the back leg is where I'm feeling this stretch. Taking your time now, finishing off 10. You can see the back foot is completely on its side, and because it's elevated, as long as I can sink deep down into this, I'm getting a better stretch than I would if I was just standing on the floor. Really important that this heel stays on the floor as you sink down into these. And again, really important that you keep your chest upright, pretty square, not allowing your midsection, your back, your core to collapse. Finishing off these 10. And this leading quad is getting a nice stretch as I sink down into this. It's got to open up nicely. It's probably roughly about 10 done. Go on the opposite side. Sweating nicely now. As I said, it's basically a workout in itself. So just nice and cautious for the first 2 or 3. And when you find your range, you get comfortable with it, you can work through them nice and steady then. Just that pause in the bottom. And last one. Again, the back foot completely on its side. And that just finished those couple of reps. Okay, so lunging, very important movement, carries into everything that we do. We're getting stretches done here, but as well, we're improving our movement with that control. Okay, so that's not a workout. You're taking your time, you're focusing on the best control that you can, and that's going to carry into other movements if you're doing this on a regular basis. Okay, last one to finish off. So we're just going to do an RDL. This should be in your bare foot now. So again, I'm doing nearly everything here on my bare feet. Should be getting into our bare feet as much as we can, or sorry, socks just out of shoes, so that we're working those muscles in our feet as well. So if you've been wearing shoes, take them off now just for this last bit. I'm using my phone. You can use anything small and light at all, like just your keys, anything at all. We're going to do 10 RDLs at each side, and I'm going to pick up the item off the floor, okay, whilst doing the best RDL I can. So I might actually go to the side here so that you can see that I don't round my back. I'm trying to avoid rounding my back. Spare hand's going to be out to the side. It's the opposite hand that is going to pick up whatever your item is. So the best RDL I can, pick up that item in the process, stand it up and put it back down, and that is 1 rep. Okay, what we don't want to see is that I look down at it and just round my back over. Okay, not much of a hinge here, back foot isn't elevated, nice bend in my back, you can see, as opposed to this position. Okay, not quite hard. So as opposed to maintaining, lifting that back foot as far back as possible, keeping the eyes pretty much forward, okay, so that that back is as straight as possible, and now I'm getting a decent hinge in. So hamstrings getting a huge stretch here now throughout the RDL, but obviously the little drill with the item and being in your bare feet, you're working your stability nicely throughout these. So I have 3 done, we're doing 10 and then we're going to swap out. These are really hard now, take your time. It's got to go back down nice and slow as well so you don't wobble over. Feeling the ground with your toes now and your feet as well. And don't just fling it when you're like halfway down. Try and hang on to it until you're all the way back down again. And that is my last one that side. So I'm just going to flip around, go the other side. And as you can see, it's just outside the foot. Spare hand is out there for balance. It's the opposite hand that picks it up throughout the rep. Pretty bad on this side. Find it a lot harder than the other. One more for good luck. Wasn't good enough. Always finish on a good rep. Better. There we go. So hamstrings getting stretched massively there throughout those, and loads of stability work as well. You can't have mobility without stability or it won't work. So everything that we just did there, really good session. Knee, ankle, hip health. Okay, really important. I'll get as much out of that as I will from like one of the other static stretching sessions. I'm sweating here now. So ideal as part of a workout, as part of a recovery day, or just as a bonus warm-up, okay? Everything that you saw there, you can use them whatever way you want. They're going to help you improve your movement. It's going to carry into a lot of other movements, and you'll get a nice stretch there around your lower body as well. Okay, that is the end of that session. That one went on a little bit longer, taking our time with those movements, I suppose. Hope you enjoy that. If you haven't seen the other videos, okay, go and do them now as well. So it doesn't matter what order you do them in, it doesn't matter what time of the day you do them in, they're all roughly 10 to 15 minutes, so they're easy to fit in. You try and get these in now over the next few weeks, you're going to feel benefit from it, and it's going to help you get back into training more safely as you start getting into higher volume. Okay, thanks very much. We will see you in training soon. Hope you enjoy that, and we'll talk to you later on.